All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic On Demand Show. My name is Mark Harmon. It's been a while since I've done this. I took a week off for vacation, and I hope you did too. So, if you do not know what this is the Comic On Demand Show, like I said, and this is how it works. As you can see right here, I have a 4-panel comic, but as you can see, it is blank. That is because I thought it would be a great idea to have you, the audience, tell me what to draw. So this is how it's going to work. Little ground rules first. I like to keep these things like PG, so I don't want any sort of I won't take any suggestions of anything super violent or graphic. And I don't want to do any sort of like political hot button stuff. Okay, and then second, I'm not going to do any suggestions of pre-existing properties like Superman or SpongeBob, and I won't do any name brands. I did do some celebrities, but I kind of want to get away from that. I don't want to do celebrities either. A couple reasons. One, because doing likenesses is hard, and two, I might also, copyright stuff and celebrities. I don't know the rules, okay? So I'm just going to be super safe and do nothing. So to keep my buns out of the fire, okay? So here's how this is going to work. A little screen's going to pop up with a little dancing guy, and then I am going to put the word go in the chat, okay? So hopefully you're monitoring the chat, and when you see my comment that says go, then the first 2 suggestions that come after that, those are the 2 suggestions I'm going to combine together to create this 4-panel comic. All right, so let's get this going, and let's take those first 2 suggestions, shall we? All right, we have our first 2 suggestions of Gnomes and New Year's Baby. Okay, so I am actually going to change this thing this time. These little words at the top of the screen, there's sometimes where I go almost the whole episode without changing it, but I like to have it up there so you can all remember what I'm drawing. So we have gnomes. Whoops. Oh my goodness. All right, I know how to spell gnomes. And New Year's Baby. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to create a 4-panel comic combining gnomes and New Year's Baby. So let's see. So I always try to let me zoom out for a second here. So I like to, usually how this works is you have sort of like an establishing shot, then you have your punchline right here, and then you have your 2 panels that get to the punchline. So it's like, here's what's going on, the yada yada, punchline. But I don't exactly. I'm kind of just stalling right now because I'm trying to get ideas. Okay, so Gnomes and a New Year's Baby. So let's see. While I'm thinking, for those of you who watch regularly, while I'm thinking, let me do like an informal poll here. Do you like the old intro and song or the new intro and song better? Or should I combine? Do you like the old song and the new intro, or the old intro and the new song? Like, what's your preferences here, people? I'm curious to know. Okay, Gnome and New Year's Baby. Ooh boy, I'm blanking. Let's just okay, so usually when I'm blanking, I think I just start to just draw some kind of establishing shot of something. And since we got gnomes, I'm just gonna do sort of like a anti perspective, or like a, or like that movie, what's the movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Sort of like that perspective, where we're like down on the ground here, and I'll give a little hint of a house or something back here. I don't really want to draw a house, because drawing architecture is hard, especially just off the dome like this. I'm not like planning a house here. So I just want to give like a hint of a house. Okay, because this is where gnomes live, right? Okay, just making sure I'm on camera here, because sometimes I just start drawing and I'm like way over here, and I don't realize I'm not on camera. Okay, panel 2. Let's see. All right, we got a vote for new intro. Another vote for new intro. All right, looks like it is, so far as is unanimous that the new intro is cooler. I agree. I think it's cooler. Okay, seriously, I still have no idea what I'm gonna draw here. I have no idea of a punchline or something. So, just so you all know, when you give me suggestions, it actually is more helpful to sort of, instead of just giving me like nouns, like cat, dog, if you like give me a little bit of a story, or not a story, but like maybe an action, like a noun and an action. Or so instead of just saying cat, dog, say like jumping dog or scared dog, or I don't know, something on like those lines, because it actually is, it's more it helps get my brain juices going, and it does make for a better comic, I think. Like, one of the worst things you can do to an artist is to give them a blank sheet of paper and tell them to draw whatever they want. Like, in a lot of ways, restrictions breed creativity, I think. So, in a way, like, the tighter the box you put me in, the more creative I can get, I guess. Does that make sense? Is that weird? I know it sounds contradictory, right? To like, you would think that just having a blank slate is the best thing to do, but when I just have two nouns, like a gnome and New Year's Baby, I just blank it. It takes me longer, and then I have to sit here and stall. A gnome gardening. Okay. All right. So gnomes gardening and a New Year's Baby. Okay, see, actually, you know what? You just said that, and it just went bloop, 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 and now I got an idea. See, I told you, it works. Just by telling me gnomes gardening, it kind of like, it got the wheels turning. Okay. All right. Let's do this now. I'm on camera. Okay, make sure. All right, let's draw this gnome. Gnomes have the pointy hats and beards, right? I'm thinking of the right mythological thing here. Is there an aspect of gnomes that's like, dude, are gnomes known for like having big noses or something? Are they basically just dwarves? Are they like tiny dwarves? So I'm getting a notification that my stream froze. Everything on my end still shows that it's cool, but... Oh, okay. That's weird. I told all my boys to get off the internet so they're not sucking all my internet juice, but hopefully they did that. Because someone just told me that for a second that it froze. Do gnomes have long hair or short hair? Does it matter? I don't know. What kind of clothes do gnomes have? Do gnomes wear sweater vests? Okay. That hat was a little funny. I had to fix it. Looked like the angle was wrong. Okay, let's see. All right, so now we got a little gnome working in the garden here. Oh, let's put another arm here, holding this gardening tool, whatever it is, a rake or something. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so like I had an idea, but then like now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, oh wait, how am I actually gonna execute this idea here? Let's see. All right, so we have our establishing shot. Then I have like a zoomed in. Maybe I'll do some kind of a... So do just like a hint, like a silhouette of this. Wait, don't gnomes wear like little skirts or something? That's a thing, right? Gnome skirts. Let's put like some hints of like some little cabbages or something. What would gnomes make in a garden anyway? What do gnomes grow? Cabbages? Gnomes to me seem like they eat cabbages. Like, Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I know what I'm going to do. See, so I had like a vague idea of what I was going to do. Like I had a direction, but then I still was kind of like, what am I going to draw? But now I have a direction. Now I have a joke. And you can probably guess the joke if maybe. So onions. Someone, Amber in the chat says that they would grow onions. Maybe. But these gnomes, they're gonna draw cabbage. They're gonna draw. Oh my gosh, they're gonna grow cabbages because that's gonna be part of my joke. Okay. Yeah. All right. I need to make that a little smaller. How was everybody's Christmas and New Year's? Did Santa bring you lots of fun presents? Do gnome women wear hats? Hang on a sec. I'm gonna go to Google real quick. I'm just gonna Google gnomes because not that they have to abide by some rule here, but wow, some of these gnomes are. Apparently, if you do a Google image search for gnomes, about 20% of them are very cheeky and inappropriate. Okay, that one shows a female gnome with a hat on. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, they have hats. All right, we're good. I just wanted to look real quick to see if gnomes had hats. Or a female gnome. Did I say female? Oh, yeah, if female gnomes wear hats. I thought they all did. Got to see your grandbaby for a whole week. Okay, this. Some of the gnomes I was looking at had like lederhosen. I don't really know my gnome lore here. Are gnomes like are they like a German thing? Or like a Swedish or something? Because I saw a lot of gnomes wearing that kind of like costume decor, like lederhosen and stuff. I don't really know my gnome folklore here. So we got that female gnome. She's going to be saying something. Then we'll have like a silhouette of this gnome dude. I'll draw some cabbages here. I'm pretty sure this is what cabbages look like, right? I'm trying to just kind of go off of what I think cabbages look like. We spent time with our kids and grandkids in Minnesota. What is Minnesota like? That's definitely one state I've never been in. Is Minnesota colder than Wyoming? Is there like more snow and stuff? Is Minnesota where that movie Fargo takes place? Was it Minnesota? I've never actually seen Fargo, so I don't really know. But I think it's in Minnesota. And doesn't everybody have like isn't there such thing as like a Minnesota accent? Is that a thing? Minnesota. That was like the worst Minnesota accent that you've ever heard. One of the Dakotas. I don't know what that comment is in reference to. Oh, or unless the Fargo movie that took place in one of the Dakotas, is that what you're saying? Make sure the New Year's baby has a top hat. Oh, don't you worry. See, if I was gonna do like a celebrity likeness or something, I'd make this gnome look like Wilford Brimley. Diabetes. Okay. All right, what am I doing here? Okay. Okay. I got a little bit of thinking to do here for this last panel, but while I'm thinking, we're at about that time for the mid suggestion. So if you don't know what that is, the mid suggestion is now's your chance to, if you weren't one of the ones that got your suggestion to be drawn, here's your chance to get in on the action. So what I do is I do a mid suggestion, and so I'll do that thing again, as same as before. You'll see the screen pop up. I'll put go in the chat, but then the first one thing that comes in after I say go, I will then put that thing in the background somewhere, somehow. Okay, so let's get that mid suggestion right now. All right, we have our mid suggestion of rabbit eating a carrot. All right. So let us put a rabbit eating a carrot in here somewhere. Actually, we're gonna put it right here. I'm gonna have it covering up a bit of this house right here. Okay. Okay, there's your rabbit eating a carrot right there. Yeah, what's up, Doc? Okay. Actually, I need to go back here. Okay, and I'm going back and I'm adding top hats to all of these. To get to this joke right here. Draw this cabbage. It's going to be a word balloon right there. Oh, Sandy Nelson in the chat just guessed the punchline. I told you could get it if you thought about it. All right, so this lady is going to be saying something about are those New Year's babies done yet? and he's going to be saying, New Year's babies. I thought we were growing Cabbage Patch Kids. Although I might need to change this because that's still not really a cabbage. Well, I guess I can't draw. I just said I'm not. I don't. I just said I'm not drawing intellectual properties that exist, right? But I can still. I can still say it, right? Legally, I can still say it. I just can't draw it. Is that how that works? I don't know how that works. We'll see. Okay. I am now going to start inking this bad boy. I start out using a Micron 5. This helps with my, it's got the, whoops, it's got that smaller tip. Come on, focus. Focus. Yeah. So it's got that smaller tip for smaller things. And then I use a bigger pen for bigger things. See how that works? All right, just making sure I'm on camera here again, because you would think after, 11 episodes of doing this, you would think I would, have a system down and I would know what I'm doing. But not really. I still forget what I'm supposed to be doing. So the whole time I've been drawing this, I've been trying to remember this cartoon that I used to watch. And it had gnomes in it. That was the whole cartoon was about gnomes. And the cartoon was it wasn't super cartoony. It was kind of the style was kind of realistic a little bit. And I don't remember what it was called. This whole time I've just been kind of racking my brain trying to remember what this cartoon was called. And it might have even just been called Gnomes for all I know. I think it was on Nickelodeon. It was mostly kind of about this older, well, I was gonna say this older couple, but all gnomes look old, right? Because they have beards and stuff. So I guess they weren't necessarily just old gnomes, but because they all look old. But when I was a kid, I was I wasn't thinking about gnome lore and stuff. I was just oh, this show's about old gnomes. So if anybody knows what cartoon I'm talking about, I'm not going to stop the show just to go Google it. But so I think it was on Nickelodeon, and it was around I don't know, 89 or 90, somewhere around there. David the Gnome? That might be it. I need to see like a picture. Like I would know it if I saw it. Like that sounds familiar. Like I think that is it. Spell cabbage with a K. See, there you go. Then it's although that company that made Sour Patch Kids, that's like copyright stuff, right? Although, well, no, because it's a food, huh? You have like a toy, and then you have a food. You can kind of, I think copyright stuff, you can get away with things as long as you're not like doing the same thing. Maybe. Like maybe if I started like an electronic like stereo company and called it Pepsi, does that mean I can call my company Pepsi if it's like stereos and stuff? If it has nothing to do with food? I don't know. Because I'm like Sour Patch Kids. I mean, that sounds a heck of a lot like Cabbage Patch Kids. I never had a Cabbage Patch Kid. I kind of... I don't know. I was never really into them, I guess. I think if the Cabbage Patch Kids would have like came with a little toy sword or something, then I probably would have been into it. But it was just like, what? There's just a baby? Just a dumb old baby. Okay, yeah, we have 2 suggestions of David the Gnome, and I, like, as you say that, I'm kind of like 80% sure that that's what it was. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying I used to watch cartoon with gnomes, but it wasn't like my favorite cartoon or anything. I think it kind of came on after whatever it was I was actually there watching. David the Gnome was like on afterwards. And so I probably just watched it because it was on. I remember he would like write on birds and stuff a lot. Did you collect the Garbage Pail Kids cards? Oh, heck yeah, dude. Of course we collected Garbage Pail Kids. Those were the best. Garbage Pail Kids? Those were the things that, like, those taught me how to draw vomit and eyeballs and boogers. And, dude, Garbage Pail Kids were a great art teacher for me. I remember just sitting there and just soaking up every bit of artwork in those things. I loved it. They were so gross and disgusting. And I remember like, sorry. I remember the ones that had like vomit had like all sorts of like chunks of things in it. And so I always loved to just sit there and like look through the vomit and like see what I could find, you know? It was almost like a Where's Waldo type of thing. It was like all sorts of bits and pieces and chunks of random things. And it was so good. Yeah, dude, Garbage Pail Kids were amazing. Like, I never, those came out, oh man, those came out when I was probably like 5 or 6. So I didn't exactly have like my own money to be going and getting them. So it was mostly my older brothers, excuse me, would have them. And I remember he had like I guess it was like one of those booklets that you would probably put like baseball cards in or whatever. But it was just one of those booklets full of Garbage Pail Kid cards. And I would sit there and look through that book like it was a children's book or something. And people like shaving and like a big chunk of skin is coming off. And it was so gross and so amazing. I think Garbage Pail Kids informed my artistic sensibilities a lot more than I think they did. Like, now that I'm really thinking about it, I feel like I owe a lot of, even though I don't necessarily draw that kind of stuff now, but man, I used to, especially in high school. I drew all sorts of gross stuff. I did this, it might have even been like my first sort of like big project that I gave myself. Because usually when I would draw pictures, it would just be like a one and done picture. I just draw a picture and then that's it. I usually didn't like elaborate very much or draw like a series of the same drawing or anything like that. But man, in high school this one time, I did this series of drawings. And I called it Mark's Gory Westerns. And so it was basically just stick people. But it was stick people and like there was like a saloon in the background. And it was basically I just drew a bunch of stick figures like absolutely destroying each other with pistols and stuff. And so it was like I drew it with a pen, and then I went in with like a red marker or a red colored pencil or not. Yeah. It was a red colored pencil. And then I just went through with a red colored pencil, drawing blood spurts and all the graphic goodies. I think Quentin Tarantino would have been proud. And I think I owe that all to Garbage Pail Kids. At least that's what I'm going to tell my therapist. I hope people can tell these are cabbages because I didn't Google to see what a cabbage looks like. Because it's one of those things, where it's like when you're an artist and you're like, dude, I know what a bird looks like, and then you go to draw a bird, and then it doesn't look like a bird, and then you have to go Google bird. It's it's a bit of an inside joke in the professional artist world here. As we all think we know what we're doing, know how to draw everything, but we don't. We constantly have to go to Google and look at stuff. I'm sure the FBI agent that's assigned to look through my Google history is probably worried about me from all the weird stuff I have to Google. All right, we are almost done here. We're cooking. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but let's just pretend that this is your first time watching, because for somebody, somewhere, this might be the first time they've ever watched this. But the idea of Comic on Demand started on my Facebook, and it used to be called Drawing on Demand. And it was just sort of a way for me to, like, because a lot of artists, they'll do like a warm-up drawing or something, you know, they're like, oh, here's today's warm-up sketch or whatever. And I wanted to do that too, like, oh yeah, I want to do a warm-up sketch. But remember earlier I said that, like, a blank paper is like the worst thing ever. So I didn't want that. I was like, oh, if I do a warm-up sketch, like, what am I going to draw? What am I going to do? Because I didn't want to just, like, I didn't want it to be just sort of like a hand warm-up or something. I wanted it to be also like a brain warm-up. So, I don't know. I had the idea that I was like, you know what? I'm going to let my Facebook friends tell me what to draw. So I just put it on Facebook. I was like, hey, everyone, I want to do like a warm-up drawing, but I don't know what to draw, so I'm going to let you tell me. And so that's how it started. So I was just like, all right, so the first person to make a comment on this post, I'm just going to draw what you tell me to draw. And that's how it started. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think the very first one, the suggestion was like cowboy spaceship or something like that. So I just drew a spaceship shaped like a cowboy. Like, if you've ever seen Spaceballs, you remember at the very end when the ship transforms into the maid with the vacuum? It was basically like that. Like, it was a ship that just looked like a cowboy dude. And I think that was my first one. But anyway, so I did that for a while, and I called it Drawing on Demand. So I was like, hey, everybody, it's time for a Drawing on Demand. First suggestion gets drawn. And I think a lot of people liked it. And I even had I might have made a lot of family members and stuff mad because then it was like, I had a lot of family and friends sort of like sending me private messages being like, hey, can you make the next Drawing on Demand this? And I was like, no, that's not how this works. That's, you're now like missing, it's sort of like you're missing the point of what this whole thing even was. Like, this was just a thing for me to warm up in the morning. So it's sort of like I didn't want to know what I was drawing ahead of time. That was the whole point, was I have no idea what I'm about to draw. And so I have to, like, take whatever it is someone tells me to draw and do it. And that was the whole point. That was the creativity behind it. That's what helped me. That's what helped get the juices going, all that stuff. And I was like, if you want a specific drawing ahead of time, that's called a commission, and those cost money, you know. But then somewhere along the lines, it turned into, I was like, well, I kind of want to draw more than just one thing. And, you know, I'm getting into comic books, and I want to do comics. So I was like, ooh, what if I just call it Comic on Demand? and I'll do like a 4-panel comic. And then I did that. And then I realized with only one suggestion, it was kind of hard. Like my brain was just like, there wasn't quite enough stuff to work with only one comic or one suggestions, right? So then that's when I turned into the first 2 suggestions. So I was like, all right, the first 2 people to comment, I'm going to turn those 2 things into a comic. And that tended to work out a lot better. And again, a lot of people liked it. It was like one of the biggest responses. Like, I could post funny things on Facebook or memes or whatever. And whatever. People liked it, I guess. But when I started doing Comic On Demand stuff, dude, everybody loved the Comic On Demand stuff. And people thought it was super cool. And they were like, wow, I can't believe you're even doing it that fast. Because I would do it in about an hour. And I'm not trying to like do a weird brag thing or anything. But like, I didn't realize that drawing a 4-panel comic in an hour was anything impressive. So I was like, so then that's kind of where the birth of this show came about. Because I was like, well, maybe people would actually like to watch it. Like, it's cool to see the suggestions, and then an hour later, here's the thing. Like, oh, look what I did. But I was like, what if people actually want to watch me draw it? Because if it's only an hour, that's... People could have an attention span of an hour, right? So anyway, that was then kind of the birth of the idea to do it like this. To do it live. Where again, I don't know what I'm about every time. I don't think you guys realize how kind of terrifying this is. So I hope you appreciate what I'm doing here. Sitting down and being like, okay, I'm about to draw something and have no idea what I'm about to draw. Live. It's a little bit insane. But we're 11 of these in and it seems to work out all right. I haven't been like completely and totally stumped yet. And then I try to make it funny too, so it's like I'm not just drawing stuff with no purpose. That's also the kind of reason why I do a comic, is because a comic usually has some kind of a story or purpose to it. And I like drawing funny things, so I try to make it funny. Okay, yeah. So, in the chat, Amber said that one of my drawing on demands was a ballerina teddy bear, and I drew just a really cute and pink ballerina teddy bear, and it made me all itchy inside. so I had to like do a little revised version afterwards. The teddy bear then had an arm that opened up with a gun coming out, and it was shooting, and it had like blood splatters, and it was all stained in blood and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's better. It was it was an itch I had to scratch. You know what I'm saying? Like, just drawing something super cute just for the sake of it being super cute. It was just kind of making me itchy inside, you know? And the 10-year-old boy in me had to be like, we gotta do something about this. So I had to turn that teddy bear into a murderous teddy bear. It was good times. Okay, you know what? I think that's it. So here it is. Here is the 4-panel comic of the suggestions of. Wait, hold on. No, oh, yeah. I just got done drawing the stuff and I forgot what I even drew. I knew one of them was Gnomes because it's full of it. I forgot the New Year's baby. Yeah. Okay. So here is your 4-panel comic of Gnomes and New Year's baby. Kind of. I mean, I guess New Year's baby is more. It's more in the text this time. I didn't actually draw a New Year's baby, so it was a bit of a cop out. I admit. I just drew gnomes and cabbages, but the cabbages were supposed to be New Year's babies or something. Anyway, so he's gardening. The wife comes up. Are those New Year's babies done yet? And he's like, New Year's babies? I thought we were growing Cabbage Patch Kids. Anyway, ha ha ha. Funny stuff. All right. Anyway, there you go. There it is. There's episode 11 of Comic on Demand. Like always, I say that this is going to be available to the original drawing here is going to be available to buy somewhere on my website, and I haven't done that yet. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I need somewhere to scan it, but these are like kind of big, and so my own personal scanner at my house, these are too big. They won't fit in the scanner. It's like 11 by 14 or something. So that's why I haven't done it yet, because I have no way to scan these, because I don't want to just take a picture of them. So I want to scan them, and then I can put them on my website. And then if anybody ever wants to buy the original drawings that you just watched me draw, then I will have them on my website once I find some way to scan them or whatever. And I have for those that don't know, again, I have a Redbubble store. I think it's redbubble.com/Comic on Demand or something like that. And then I have like prints and t-shirts and hats, and basically it's Comic on Demand merch. So anyway, make sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends and share it and post it all around. That would be super cool. Anyway, thanks for showing up, everybody. Love you. See you next week.